Good afternoon, my fellow sixth graders. This is Mrs. Dubé. I've missed you, but thank you once again for inviting me into your home or into your ears if you're here at school. This is lesson 9.4, and it is on page 511. I've got my calligraphic pen all ready to roll. Now, we're going to be working with graphing the relationships that we've talked about for the past 3 lessons. So the essential question, how can you graph the relationship between two quantities? Well, we've been dealing with X and Y charts. So now we're just going to put the X's and Y's into our ordered pairs and plot them on a coordinate plane. Connect. You have learned that tables and equations are two ways to represent the relationship between two quantities. You can also represent a relationship between two quantities by using a graph, okay, or the coordinate plane. So if we unlock this problem, it says a cafeteria has a pancake making machine. The table shows the relationship between the time in hours and the number of pancakes the machine can make. Graph the relationship represented by the table. Well, I don't know about you, but sometimes my mind wanders. I am wondering what a pancake making machine is. And would that save my time on a Saturday morning? Can any of you picture what a pancake making machine looks like? Must be industrial sized if it's in a cafeteria. So perhaps they don't make these pancake making machines for home use. Not sure. But the table is going to show the relationship between the time in hours and the number of pancakes that are being outputted, if that's even a word, the machine can make. Graph the relationship. So, you always have to really look at what the table's saying before you start. So pancake production, time in hours. So in 1 hour, 200 pancakes are made. 2 hours, 400 are made. 3 hours, 600 are made. 4 hours, 800 are made. 5, 1,000. Hopefully you can see that pattern there. So use the table values to graph the relationship. Step 1, write your ordered pairs. X is going to represent the time in hours, and Y is going to represent the number of pancakes made. Use each row of the table to write an ordered pair. Sorry, that was Mr. Damiani calling in, and we know we never screen Mr. Damiani's calls. That makes him very upset. All right, so what we're doing is we're just taking the coordinates, X and Y, right off of the chart. So in 1 hour, 200 pancakes. 2 hours, 400. I'm not going to say the rest because that will irritate you. So you're just filling in. So you're just taking these ordered pairs. So this is the X and this is the Y, just like we've done before. So hopefully you retain that information from before. Choose an appropriate scale for each axis of the graph. Label the axes. This is just the plural word of axis. So this is one axis. This is more than one, so it's axes. And give the graph a title. Okay, so step 3, graph a point for each ordered pair. Well, look, they've already started with the intervals. So obviously we're going by 100s, right? So this is 0, 100, 200, 300, 400, 500, 600, 800, 900, 1,000. Okay, and that's a pretty easy way to do it. And then down here, we're just putting our hours in. And then all we have to do is plot our points. So we know 1 hour is 200 pancakes, 2 hours is 400, 3 hours is 600, 4 hours is 800, 5 hours is 1,000. Huh, so we put a 6 there. I wonder what the 6th one would be. Are you thinking? Keep thinking. What would the 6th one be? We're going up by 200 every single time. So I'm thinking the 6th one would be 1,200 if we were to extend this out. Anyway, just a little aside. Okay, great. So that's how you would plot the points. And of course, they form a straight line because if you look and you put these into fractions, 1 over 200. 2 over 400 reduces to 1 over 200. 3 over 600 reduces to 1 over 200, and so on. So all these ratios are equal. That's why you get the straight line on the graph. All right, turning to the next page. Okay, so let's go to the next example on page 512. The table shows the relationship between the number of bicycles, Y, Sean has left to assemble, and the number of hours, X, he has worked. So X is going to stand for hours, Y is going to stand for bicycles. Graph the relationship represented by the table to find the unknown value of Y. Again, read your table. Read your table. Bicycle assembly. Time in hours. So in 0 hours, so he hasn't started yet. So this is a weird graph. It's almost backwards. So in 0 hours, he still has 10 bicycles left to assemble. Okay, and again, this is the X and this is the Y of your ordered pair when we're graphing. Okay, after 1 hour, he only has 8 left to assemble. So wouldn't we assume that it took 1 hour to assemble 2 bicycles? After 2 hours have elapsed, how many bicycles does he have left? After 3 hours, he has 4 bicycles left. And after 4 hours, he has 2 bicycles left. Okay, so we're going to write the ordered pairs, use each row of the table. Okay, skip the row with the unknown Y value, which is the 2 for the X. So in 0 hours, he hasn't started yet, he has 10 bikes to assemble. In 1 hour, after 1 hour, he has 8 left to assemble. We're skipping the 2. After 3 hours, he has 4 to assemble. And after 4 hours, he has 2 left to assemble. Step 2. Graph a point for each ordered pair on a coordinate plane. I'm pretty confident you already know what the question mark is in the table, but let's take a look. So they've decided to go by ones here and by ones here, which makes sense. And we're going to go ahead and graph. So we have 0, 10. So I start at 0, I go over 0, that means I don't move, and I go up to 10, which they've graphed for us. Okay, and then the next one, I go over 1 and up 8. I go over 3, we're skipping the 2, and up 4, even though I think you know what it is. We're going over 4 and up 2. Okay, and then what you do, I don't have a ruler, but it says to use a ruler. That's a bad line here. Okay, so you draw the straight line, and we're still looking for, when the X is 2, what would the Y be? Well, that's very easy. Can't we just kind of come up here? It really should be right here, but my line's off, right? So when X has a value of 2, Y has a value of 6. Okay, so you can fill that in right down here. So what you do is they lie on a line because, again, they all reduce to the same. Use a ruler to draw a dashed line through the points. I'm doing that again because it's driving me absolutely crazy. Let's see, last one was 4, 2. So basically, I can't really see on this. Wait, am I right? 4 over 4 up 2. Okay, so then over 3, up 4, and so on. Over 2 should hit the 6. That's not right either, folks. Why can't I need a big ruler for my smartboard. Anyway, you draw a dotted line like so, and it should hit the 6 mark. All right, moving on. So use the line to find the Y value, which we know. So after 2 hours, Sean has 6 bicycles left to assemble. All right, moving on to the next page to the Sharon Show. I would like you to do, please, number 1, number 2, number 3, and number 4, and we will go over these in the morning because I'm pretty confident you know how to graph X and Y. Remember, you go over for the X and up for the Y. So you'll do 1, 2, 3, and 4 on page 513, and we will check these in the morning. Okay, and remember to jot down any questions you may have. And what does Mr. Damiani always say? There's another thing he wants us to write. Maybe something you learned. Sorry, Mr. D, I'm drawing a blank. Maybe something you learned on the other Post-it note. All right, everybody. Well, have a great evening. And remember to use a ruler when you're trying to connect your points on the coordinate plane. Thanks for listening. Not like you had a choice.